Hey everybody, it's Sarah here, and I wanted to take an opportunity to show y'all some of the new features for removing people in Lightroom and Photoshop. We just did this amazing flying dress photo shoot, and of course that requires me to be moving the fabric quite a bit. So how do we get me or anything else or anyone else out of there that we don't want? So right now we're gonna head over to Lightroom, and I am in the remove tool over here on the right hand side. You can also hit the H key if you wanted. And right now it's saying like, okay, for people, it's we have a remove and we have a distraction removal option that they've recently added. And here we have people. And so it's found Danny here, and it hasn't found me, probably because my face isn't in it. So we're going to go through a couple of different ways to remove. So this is one. Ideally, everyone is found, and then it makes it really easy because you can hit remove. It says removing distracting people, and then gone, out of the way. So much easier. What happens when it doesn't find the person? So we're going to go here. We're going to stay in remove. And we're going to click on this guy right here, this little eraser. We can say use generative AI, but we're also going to say detect objects. And we're going to start to paint in not only me, because that is important, but also my shadow. And I'm going to see how well it can figure this out. So here we have me, but we are a little bit, it's covering up some of the dress as well, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go subtract, and I'm going to start to remove this part of the dress. There we go. Okay, so leaving a little bit more room there, I'm going to hit remove, see what we get. Didn't do quite so bad. That's pretty great. So, ta-da! And we have different variations. Maybe we found that one is working slightly better than the others. Probably one. Okay. So yeah, didn't do too bad of a job. It really is one of those things where it's like, unless I was really looking, I wouldn't be able to tell. Especially if like we're posting on social media or something like that. The size is going to be so small that it shouldn't even really matter at the end of the day. If we want to be super sure, we can click this, remove away. Might be a little bit of a glitch here, and you can kind of see the effect there. So, but it is a fairly large amount of stuff that we are taking out. So that can be the other thing that sometimes Lightroom has trouble with, especially if it's a lot of textures. But quick and easy way to do that in Lightroom. Now, if we want to go into Photoshop and try it, we're going to do a couple of things first. As always, in every single Photoshop file ever, we're going to duplicate the background. So do that a couple of different ways. You can drag it down to the plus button. You can hit Command or Control J. You can go up here to layer and duplicate layer. So any which way, but make sure we have at least one background copy. So we're going to go over here to our object selection tool, and this might be hidden under a magic wand or quick selection, but we want object selection tool. And we're going to go on over here, and first it's going to say trying to find objects in your image. Doing a pretty darn good job. So first, easy, Danny, gonna try and say we're gonna click on her and say generative fill, and then we're gonna say generate. And by doing that, by putting nothing in the prompt, we're telling it just remove, use background, and all of that to replace. So it's going to pick up from other spots and pieces. Okay, that is so weird. Decide to put a log there. That's great. Okay, better. Looks like I didn't quite get her leg there. So let me say, okay, I've got that. Go back to my background copy. And say if it missed, what I can actually do is use it really doesn't want to. If it's still being stubborn, I'm going to hit Command Z and going to go to Quick Selection Tool, make my brush bigger. There we go. Now we've got, okay, just like piece of a random leg. So we're going to go back. Again, we're not putting anything in the prompt, and that's telling it just remove. And I did that also from the background layer, or the background copy. See, I don't know. That is so crazy. It is just, see, this is one of those things where I'm like, AI is not ready to take over just yet. God. Our jobs are secure because I asked it to remove and it was like, did you want more of what I told you to do? So I'm going to delete this layer. And I'm going to do it the old school way. I'm going to, first back up. Whee! And I'm going to grab my patch tool. I'm going to circle my subject. Again, I'm on the layer of the background copy. That's very important. And then I'm going to move this over. Oh, interesting, because it still thinks that this is a part of it. God, that's a goof. Okay, here's the thing. Sometimes I will redo these videos and like try to edit and put things, but I like that y'all get to see this in real time. So you might have like other creators that go around and be like, well, and then try to make it look absolutely perfect. I'm not here for that. I want y'all to see it because this is going to happen to you too in real time. So here's what happened. I did the generative fill and it created this new layer, which is a part of what is on top of my background copy, right? So what I'm actually only asking it to remove is this tiny piece here, but then I also have this layer on top. So what do? We're going to merge these two layers together so that when I select this, I'm selecting it as a whole. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key so you can see I'm now selecting these two layers, and we're going to go layer. Where did you go? Merge layers. Da-da-da-da. And now these are both on the same layer. So now I can use my patch tool, scoot this over. Ha-ha! Yes! Success. Much better. So I know where it's one of those things where it's like, hey, Sarah, I just wanted a super easy answer. Guess what? It's not always that. And anybody that tells you that is lying. I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyways, let's try to get me out of here now. Let's see if we go back to our object selection tool and see, okay, it's not doing the worst job. It's got me there. And then I can say, okay, it got my shirt. Fantastic. How do I add my pants? We're going to go up here. Because right now we've got different ways to select. This is just like keep selecting a new selection each time. But if I want to add to that selection, boom. Next one over. And I can say, hey, pants too, please. And shoes, please. And see how it just keeps continuing to make that like more and more and more. And then I'm also going to deal with my shadow later. But for now, you can see, oh, you know what? It's also got this guy right here. And I don't want that. It's got a piece of the dress, and it's not letting me select that on its own. So what do? We're going to go ahead, and we are going to switch this over to our quick selection. We're going to hit minus because we want to subtract. And now if I just paint in, aha, there it is. Fantastic. And you can see it's also missing like little parts of me. So I can go there and hit my plus key now to add back. Ooh, and then remove. And this is kind of part of it where it's like you're sort of adjusting as you go. And we just want to make sure enough of me is there. So when I hit generative fill and generate, fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed that it understands what I want from it. But maybe it'll put in a giant wheel of cheese. Who knows? Hey, not too bad. Not too shabby at all. Ooh, hello. Just did a random selection there. Command Z. or Control Z, undo is your best friend in the whole wide world. Did a pretty good job. Okay, fantastic. We're going to go with that. Love it. Now we got to get rid of my creepy shadow because it's just sort of there. We're going to go back to our layer. It's now called generative fill, but this is it because we merged those layers together. We're going to go back generative fill, and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to use my quick selection tool this time because obviously the object selection tool doesn't recognize my shadow as an object, right? So instead, click and hold down. We're going to go to quick selection tool, and we're going to click the plus. So let's see if I can. Ooh, that was great. I just clicked it once. And it went, ooh, you want this? Great job, Adobe. Thank you. Generative fill, generate. Fingers crossed. Hunk of wheel of cheese. Or just making our lives easy and removing. Hey, there we go. Fantastic. It's not too much different. Maybe the second one, just because of the color, I think fits a little bit better. Great. Okay, so again, just for any future editing that we do, it's going to be way easier if we merge these layers together. So I'm going to click on that top one for the generative fill, shift key, all three down, and then layer, merge layers. Brilliant. I'm going to go to my magnifying glass, fit screen, and put the properties away there. And now it should be people, no people. Looks like magic. Cool. Okay. Any questions on that? Please feel free to ask in the comments, send us an email, private lesson. If you really want to get super in-depth with this, I can meet you online and then go from there. All right. See you next time.